Good morning. Good morning. Today is, my goodness, it is the 14th of May. I had a wonderful birthday yesterday. A lot of people gave me shouts out. In fact, because I am very personable, I tried to respond to every single one of them. And if I missed you, blame it on my head and not my heart. I do believe in acknowledging people when they acknowledge you. Good morning, my friend Cassandra in Texas. Um, it was just a great day. In fact, I got a chance to hang online with Zoom with my girlfriends, but we couldn't all get on there at one time. But we had a great time of just having fun. We just see each other, and automatically our friendship continues to bloom into the love that we have for each other for so many years. They've been friends. All four of them have been friends since childhood, and three of them, excuse me. And then I came along later on in college, and that became, we became the five stars. We just always have been there for each other. So they were there for me for my birthday yesterday, and we did it as a Zoom. They had plans to come to the area, but with the COVID-19, no one's moving, none too quickly. And so I just say good morning to all that will come into this space. Good morning, Ms. Rosie. I love you. It's just a wonderful time when people can acknowledge people on a special day for them. And it could be Mother's Day. It could be, and some people like Mother's Day and not their birthdays, and other like birthdays and not other days. I am a person who I enjoy every holiday that I get to see each year. So it really doesn't matter to me if it's my birthday or if it's Mother's Day or if it's Christmas, Thanksgiving. I'm thankful regardless of what day I'm in on. It does not matter. But I just say good morning to you. And today we're going to talk about dare. And I tell you, every day God gives me another thing to talk about. I can't even go to bed unless I finish something. And last night, I think I finished up at 11:30. And when I was working, just looking up some other stuff for a book I'm finishing up on, and it came to me. I said, "Dare! I'm daring to be something I've never been before, which is an author." I have my dissertation, but this is totally different. So very exciting, very exciting, and so it has me kind of up in my enthusiasm of not only doing this but then taking on other things. And you never know what is ahead of you, but sometimes if you are challenged by somebody else, they dare you, or they double dog dare you. Remember that? There was a show on, I think, at Christmas time. Shayla, you remember that show with the double dog dare? But anyway, there was a double dog dare, and they put their tongue out on a cold, icy cold pole, and their tongue got stuck. But anyway, those are the kinds of things. The Christmas Story, yes, thank you, Shay. So that was a story where someone was dared, and they were dared as a child. But sometimes we might be getting a dare as an adult, and we may not take it well, or we might say, "Yeah, then I'll do it." And that's kind of how this all began. Is that I told someone that I would do it, and here I am, daring to be bold. And so we're going to talk about some dares, but we're also going to do like I usually do. I have some poems that speak to you getting back down to the you are, as opposed to having all what I call the veneer, the varnish, the bark, all the things that say that you kind of lost sight of the inside. And I'm trying to get back down to our basements. And so today's topic was dare to go down into your basement and be dared to rummage through it, clean it out, and then dare to come back up. And all my themes pretty much speak to how we can get back down to the center of ourselves. Who are we? Why do we do some things, can't do other things? Why? Good morning, Jean. Why do we not do things when we know we need to? And so this is I'm giving this away. to just say, come on with me. I'm going to try some things. I'm going to be daring today. I'm going to be, trusting of myself today. I'm going to have my own opinion. I'm going to have my own way. I'm going to do me. That would be exciting, to just do you. So anyway, today we talk about, it says, the first poem, and I put on my little glasses. The first poem I brought is Don't Carry What Doesn't Belong to You. And it looks like it doesn't have an author. Nope, it does. It says it is by Gary Campus. And it says, find rest, my soul. Be still, my soul. Know you are weak. Know you are small. Let go of your fears. Let go of your weariness. Let go of your shame, my soul. Don't carry what doesn't belong to you. Sing hallelujah, my soul, for love is coming your way. Sing hallelujah, my soul, for love will make you new. Love will wipe your tears. Love will sing you too. Love will carry you. And when I first read this, I said, wow, it sounds like it's a prose that ostensibly needs to be something musical, because there's a kind of a rhyming and ring to it, to talk about, basically it's all getting back down the soul. The soul is internal. And so we all have, according to what, if you're spiritual, it talks about the soul of us, the soul of who we are is obviously it's an inner working, it could be how we connect spirituality with what our spiritual, awareness is, or our lean is towards. But it looks at, who are we inside, and how we relate to so many different things. And it talks about understanding that we may have our fears, we may have our shame, we may have our hallelujah moments, we may have our tears, we may be able to sing about it, but whatever it is, the love of who we are for ourselves will carry us through. That's good. That's good stuff. Good stuff. And it's called Don't Carry What Doesn't Belong to You. And the second poem I have is Dare to Self-Care. Now, once again, we still inside. I'm still trying to stay inside the center of who we are, and it says, dare to self-care. Oh, and by the way, I am Sandy Winborn. Good morning. Good morning. Are you stuck? Yes, we are all stuck. We are all stuck. So we're going to go on with our next poem, and it says, Dare to self-care. Speak kindly to your inner self. Don't take your demon's view. You are you, and no one else will lead the life you do. Kill your inner critic and silence all its chatter. Write this truth inside your brain. I'm worth it and I matter. So matter and chatter. The chatter of what you're hearing inside your head or what somebody else may be talking to you. That's chatter. But it says give your brain the truth. And the truth is that your worth matters. And that's important. Good morning, my niece Rhonda up in New York. So we want to talk about, the fact that we need to dare to be ourselves. Dare to be who we are without anyone else's opinion, without even our own opinion, because sometimes we don't have good opinions of ourselves. We don't have our own best interests in mind or at heart. We think somebody else's opinion is more valuable than ours about who we are. But you know who you are. At least if you don't, this is the time to get in touch with it. This pause on the world. And I know people are trying to run back out there, trying to get out there. In fact, I have a meeting today, and our meetings had all been virtual, but they decided that today they want to have a meeting downtown. I'm still on the fence of whether I'm going or not. And if I go, they're going to have to be way over there and I'm going to be over here so I can just hear. But the point is that I'm dared to go. Now I have to make a decision. So by the end of 11 o'clock, by the time 11 o'clock comes, I'll make a decision, because if I'm going to go, I have to start out and leave the house. But anyway, those are the 2 poems I had today. Hope you liked them. So now, you know how I do. I'm going to break down the word dare. And obviously, dare means you've been challenged. You've been, basically tossed in a position of, I have to make a decision, and a lot of dares we miss because we don't respond to them, to get things done, to do things for ourselves, even to do things for others. All those are dares. And if we are not receiving it as a challenge, or we receive it as, I'm not interested, then we never get to the point where we face dares. So for me, the dare I'm talking about is not the external dares as much as you are daring yourself. Say, I'm getting ready to step out on something. I'm getting ready to be bold. I'm getting ready to decide that I'm going to do something that no one imagined me doing, or I didn't imagine me doing it, but here I am. The painter in you, you don't know it. The writer in you, you may not know it. The teacher in you. Some people are probably teaching now only because they're forced to deal with their own children. Okay? But that doesn't say that it falls short of what they have to offer. They have a lot to offer. So the next thing we want to talk about, the first letter, good morning, Vanessa, it talks about determine. The D is for determine and dare. Hope you have your pencils and papers. Hope when you scrolled by, I thank you for that. And I thank you if you stopped. I thank you more if you stay. But I would even thank you greater if you would share. Share this with somebody else who may need to know that there's somebody out there that on a dare, here she is out there giving some information, which it's to me, it's very helpful. Good morning, Carla. Very helpful that we are challenged to listen to some of this stuff, and it's free, And some of you who are home, and you're not all working at home, but if you're home and working, you can still turn me on. I shouldn't make it bad. But anyway, the first D in the word of dare is going to go for determine. Having made a firm decision and being resolved not to change it. You stand on it. That's it. You're firm, you're fixed, you're positioned, you're unswavering. It says you're set, it says that you are you're uncounted. You count what you're doing. Undaunted, that's what I meant to say. Undaunted, steadfast. All those words say, I ain't moving. I'm going to do what I want to do. This is what I need to do. Persistent, strong-minded, single-minded, meaning you don't need anybody else to tell you. You're single-minded about something. And very purposeful, unwavering, and adamant. So all those words sum up the fact that if you are a determined person, you're going to get it done. You've made up your mind. Can't nobody stop you. You're going to do something. You're going to make a move. You're going to relocate somewhere. You're going to write a book. You're going to go sing in a band. Whatever it is, whatever your ideas are, that by now, hopefully on this paper and these journals that you have. And, I always try to tell you that the journals are really cheap. This one was $1 at the dollar store. So they're real cheap to have. And they're worth the $1, and if you get a pen or two, they're worth it for you to write down some of these things that you can come back to later on. Then the next word in the dare word, the initial, is the A for audacity. Once again, audacity is the person is their willingness to take bold risk. To be determined is one thing. But to take bold risks, that gives you the audacity to do something. You're going to stand on it. You ain't going to worry about it. It says sometimes it may come out as being rude or disrespectful behavior. But if you're bold enough and determined enough then you probably have the audacity to do whatever you say you're going to do. And it says that there's an presumption of who you are. You have nerve, you know. It says that you are unwavered. You're defiant, and you have some sass. You know, a lot of women, they say women have sass, you know, because they got to get their point in. And so what I'm saying to you is, this is a point that certainly says that we have it within us to do it if we decide to do it. Good morning, Deborah. If we decide to do it in our daringness, we can be, you know, we can have determination, we can be determined, and we can also be, you know, we can also have audacity. That's good stuff. You cannot take anything away from it. The next question, the next area is rationale, for the R in dare. Rational. How rational are you? That's very interesting, because, you know, it says to be rational is to be based on or according to reason and logic, you know. And a lot of times people's reasoning isn't logical, okay? Or their logic is not reasonable. Sometimes there's a crosswire where what makes sense to the norm may be out of norm for other people. They just don't get it. It doesn't make sense. And so it talks about the sensibleness of a person. That would be rational, coherent. Because some people, when they aren't reasoning well and they're not logical, they end up being incoherent. And sometimes when you're dealing with people which may have mental illness or some kind of, you know, mind thing going on, that says that they're not quite getting what is being said or how things are going for them, then there would be a problem. But it says that to be rational is also to be wise, to be perceptive, to be clear-sighted. And it says to be clear-eyed, meaning that you see stuff. It's not just that you hear stuff and have been, you know, exposed to stuff, you know, through time, and that's your experience, but that you see stuff and you make connections with what you already know. And it also says that the person is astute. They don't need you to tell them that they don't know anything. They have some astuteness to them. It says common sense. You know, that's logic. That's also reason. You know, if it makes sense to people. And the last thing is just out and out reasonability and logicalness. How do all those things come together? Well, to me, to be daring and to dare means that you need to be rational. You need to do things. You don't need to be dared to your death. You know, like if somebody, I remember when we were coming up, and my mother would always say, well, if somebody dares you to do something, you're just going to do it? Have you not thought about the consequences of it? That's true. But when you're young, you don't want anybody, you know, trying to make like you can't do something. You're going to try to be bold on it. And not always were we able to back up the idea of our boldness at that age. When you get to be older, you should be able to make decisions that are rational, that put you in a position of dare, but it's more from the point of self-dare as opposed to other people challenging you. But sometimes other challenges also make you grow from other people just by them challenging you. And you pick it up. You say, well, okay, I dare you to do. You know, I dare you to do it, and you get it done. And the last word in our word of dare is enthusiasm. And it says enthusiasm, and it's intense and eager enjoyment, interest, or approval. That's good. You know, to be enthusiastic means that your joy, your excitement, your desire is not necessarily in somebody else, but it's what you feel about either other things, people, position, whatever. It's what you feel. And so therefore that makes it very worthy. It's a worthy thing to have if you have your own enthusiasm about what it is you want to do. No one else has to tell you. So it talks about having fervor or passion or zeal or liveliness, vigor, excitement, spirit, fire. Because people say, well, that child full of fire. It's true. And the urge to go. Now some of us always went places, and but our enthusiasm didn't lead to anything. We went for other people, to be in the presence of other people. What I'm telling you to do in this, dear, be in the presence of yourself. So when you do present to other people, they can say, wow, something happened. Quarantine was good, or after quarantine, something else happened. They're now running their own company, and they've written a book or whatever the excitement is for your enthusiasm, that would be you. That would be you. So now we have our questions, and our questions are all on daring things that speak to all these things we just talked about: being determined, being, having the audacity, being rational, and of course, having some enthusiasm. Okay, so question number 1 is, I hope you have a pen, talks about, are you determined to make changes for yourself outside of quarantine and beyond? And if so, what are you determined to change? I'll repeat that. Are you determined to make changes for yourself outside of quarantine and beyond? And what are you determined to change? We all can change. We can change something. We can. But it's your change. It's not anybody else's. It's yours. The second question is, are you willing and able to be bold and take risk? That would be your audacity. Do you possess the audacity to do what you need to do? And who determines the need? You do. I'll say it again. Are you willing and able to be bold and take risks? Do you possess the audacity to do what you need to do? Our next question number 3 is, are you a rational person? Write it down, because some people think they are and they're really not. It says, do you reason with right and wrong? For you, do you reason with it before you make a decision, or you just go wrong when it should have been right, and you go right when it was clearly wrong for you? And hi, Kimberly. And it talks about, do you go left or right? Do you go or don't go? Do you go yes or no? And do you recognize the pros and the cons? And some people don't. They just don't. They don't recognize it at all. In fact, they never look at the cons. They just look at the pros, thinking it's going to be beneficial. And then they find out that it costs them time. It costs them money. It may have cost them a position. It may have cost them a place to live. Something. Like the scammers who do the cars. When you don't make much money, and you have a poor credit rating, and you go to get a car, and they have the highest interest rate ever, and so you miss one payment, and also you don't have a car, and they're on you about not being able to pay. Well, they probably knew that you couldn't pay in the first place, but those are the kinds of things that they do. So that would certainly be a time when being rational about what are the cons and the pros. The pro would obviously be the car, but the con would be, what if, my job is going to stop, or, I have limited funds, or, child support didn't come in, whatever happened. Sometimes life just steps in and it changes the trajectory of where we can go and what we can do. But sometimes we have to be thinking forward up the road as some possibilities. And the last one says, are you enthusiastic about making a change for yourself? Your change, no one else's change. Do you know what you are passionate about and for? Do you know? Do you know what you're passionate about and for? What excites you? It excites me. I mean, every day I get up and I'm happy to come into this space to be with you all, whoever comes. And I said yesterday, and I'll continue to say, I'm not, Kim Kardashian. I'm not an Oprah Winfrey. I don't have that kind of pull clout, but money does that. I don't have that. But what I have is a passion, and I have an ability to do what God has given me as my gifts, to bring forth information as an educator and a counselor, to say, hey, look, this can work for you if you want to use it. And so that's my take on it. But I'm so excited to always be able to be here. So I'm going to read my 2 poems for you again, and hope those who came in late, can certainly listen. The first one talks about don't carry what doesn't belong to you. It says, find rest, my soul. Be still, my soul. Know you are weak. Know you are small. Let go of your fears. Let go of your weariness. Let go of your shame, my soul. Don't carry what doesn't belong to you. Sing hallelujah, my soul. For love is coming your way. Sing hallelujah, my soul. For love will make you new. Love will wipe your tears. Love will sing to you. Love will carry you. And that's written by Gary Compress. And it's called Don't Carry What Doesn't Belong to You. And the next one is Dare to Self-Care. Speak kindly to your inner self. Don't take your demon's view. You are you, and no one else will lead the life you do. Kill your inner critic and silence all his chatter. Then write this truth inside your brain. I'm worth it and I matter. Dare to be yourself, which is dare to self-care, is a short affirmative poem about confidence and care. And it's written by Miss Moyam, M-O-E-M, Moyam. And I think it's an English professor in Europe. But anyway, those were the poems for the day. And our topic area was dare. And it talks about dare having 4 components. I gave it, the D is for determined, A is for audacity, R is for rationale, and the E is for enthusiasm. And it says, determined is having made a firm decision on being, resolved not to change it. That once you've made a decision, that's what you stand on. That's good. The next thing is audacity, is the willingness to take bold risks. It is what it is. I'm going to stand on that too. I'm going to be, nervy. I'm gonna act maybe a little disrespectful because I'm trying to get my point across. I'm gonna show my boldness. I'm gonna be imprudent. I'm gonna be sassy. All those would be under that word. The next one is rationale, and to be rational, it's based on or according to one's willingness to be or ableness to be have reason and logic. And some people don't have it. They just they have to depend on other people, and we know that. So I'm calling you out to dare yourself to come up with your own reasoning and your own logic. And it says it's the ability to be sensible and coherent and wise, clear-sighted, clear-eyed, basically astute, common sense, just reasonable and logical. So that would be that area. And in enthusiasm, of course, it talks about the intense and eager enjoyment, the interest and interest or approval, meaning you want external approval based on the fact that comes to you and you love it, but also your internal approval, which is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you knowing that I have excitement today. I'm doing something I haven't done before. I'm in my basement. I'm down my stairs. I'm daring to go back down there. Because sometimes we can come up from something and we still haven't cleaned it all out. It may be that we need to go back and apologize to people, or we need to write it down because they've ascended into the heavens. So you may need to just get back to feeling good about who you are, because some things, as I said, they're in your back. And it talks about, are you stuck? You're stuck if you're staying back there. So I need you to come forward and stay positive and find your joy, find your enthusiasm, be excited about the life that you are given. And then our questions are, the first one, are you determined to make changes outside of quarantine and beyond? And if so, what are you determined to change? Second question, are you willing and able to be bold and take risks? That's your audacity. Do you possess the audacity to do what you need to do? Once again, that would be a change. The next question is, are you a rational person? Do you reason with the right and the wrong for you? Do you know left from right? I'm not talking the directions like this. I'm talking about going someplace you shouldn't go, being, with people you shouldn't be with, just doing things that maybe needs to come back down to, no, I need to make a decision about that. I need to be rational, because hanging with somebody that might be doing something illegal will get me in a position of being, becoming charged with something. Just realizing that I have to make some decisions that are pertinent to me being rational. And the last question is, are you enthusiastic about making a change? What is the change? But it has to be your change. Do you know what you are passionate about and for? What excites you? What? Because I know something excites you. Something excites all of us. What could that be? What could that be? So that's it. My things today were all on dare. The fact that we need to be dared. And like, we've done some interesting things this week. We have one more day tomorrow, because I'm with you Monday through Friday, doing from 9 to whenever I finish with the area. But we've just trying to just address the fact that we need to be dealing with stuff from head to toe. Not just the physical stuff, but the mental stuff, which gets us to our physical selves. We need to be able to know if we need to plan, ahead for being, under quarantine a long time, or we're going to come out and deal with that. Because that, to me, for a long time, we will be living probably a weird kind of life that we haven't lived before. Just having the fact that we have to deal with masks, gloves, distance, all those kinds of things. And it's changed. Our lives have changed. And so what I'm saying is, if that's changed, how much are we going to change to be adaptive, adjusted, able to deal with what those changes are? Because some of us are really, I love people, love you, I love all of you. So for me to change, if that's going to save my life, they don't have to dare me to do that. I'm going to try to do my best to save my life. And so the virus is, because it doesn't show anywhere. And this morning, I think I was seeing on television where even just chatter, just talking with somebody could put you in a position of, you don't even know that you would fall to it, where somebody else would be fine and just be a carrier of it. So we just have to understand what our possibilities are of living, and that's what we have to do. But I dare you today to go down to the basement, to figure out, to rummage through some of the things that you can go through, and it's not just your physical stuff. I'm talking about your emotional stuff, your psychological stuff, your heartfelt stuff, things that have really dealt with you over time and you haven't gotten rid of them. I'm saying get rid of it. Let it go. We just can't hold on to things that just basically have us cluttered in. It's too much stuff on top of us and we're carrying too much stuff with us. So as the poem says, don't carry anything with you. It doesn't belong to you. It doesn't. And we can let it go. I hope you have a wonderful day. I thank you for coming into this space with me. I appreciate the time, and please hit share. Everyone who hit share, that's good. And you can also go to my YouTube station, which is under Sandra L. Winborn, PhD. So you can find me there, and I upload it every day, so that you can find the information there. I love you. I appreciate you. And I hope to see you tomorrow in the space. Have a great, great day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.